Hey guys, last minute surprise live Q&A. So while we're waiting for people to get into the group, there's nobody in here yet. We're waiting for people to get into the chat. Anybody watching the replay, macrosinc.net for coaching info. Anybody on YouTube, jump onto, go to Facebook, search for Macros Inc. You will join the group with 22,000 people in it. And we will get you situated in whatever kind of fitness questions you have. So as people are joining, just keep asking questions, get these questions going. That's how we do this. I want a stack of questions. I got a couple things to talk about. So get questions in, and we will go. All right, guys. Hey, Brittany. So I have a couple things I want to talk about really quick. First thing I want to talk about is the conference. So we do have a Flexible Fitness and Nutrition Summit coming up in Chicago, the 23rd and 24th of August. The link is in the comments, in the top description for this. It's hosted by me and Brad Dieter. So me from Macros Inc., Brad Dieter from Eat to Perform. And it's, I think we're going to sell this thing out at 300 tickets. So I would definitely recommend going on, buying your early bird tickets. They're discounted right now. Jump on and get those. It's in Chicago. Hotel rooms are $159 a night. There is a link. Once you register, you'll get that. Coaching info, macrosinc.net/services will get you hooked up with coaching. So quick things while we're waiting. If you have questions, type them. We'll get to them. So things I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is prioritizing. We're in the new year. New goals, new you, right? That's how it's supposed to be. So for me, the new me for this year, and I'm a big goal setter. Again, if you have questions, type them out. I'll get to them in a minute. For me, my new goal, I need to apologize first to every single person in this group, my clients, people who are applying for coaching, the other coaches, moderators, everything. For the past 3 or 4 days, I have been more unorganized than normal. I was traveling. My wife was really sick during that trip. I fell a little behind like a day behind with the crazy amount of emails that we got for coaching. We took in more clients last month, in the past 3 weeks, than we've taken in the entire time we've been a coaching place. So it's been a real busy week. I own another company outside of Macros Inc., so I've been real busy with that. My January is normally my slowest time for 7 years. It's the busiest I've ever had. We're busy in Macros Inc. now. Where else was I? Sorry. So it's a slow time, and I'm building up and trying to start another company right now as well, working on the conference with Brad Dieter, and I have a one of those surprising distractions that come up that just takes up all my free time right now, and I'm trying to budget all my time. It's been busy. Just as a show of how busy I've been, these are 3 cell phones, and I'm on another one, and this is what I carry with me everywhere I go. So it's been a pretty busy time. So my priority to you, my promise to everybody in this group, and what my goal is, I've dedicated hours. I've come up with a spreadsheet, a schedule of how to dedicate my time a little bit better, where to prioritize it. So I'm going to make sure I'm in the group more. I'm doing more stuff for everybody here. So just make sure that you guys are prioritizing. Are you prioritizing your fitness? Is it nutrition? Have you already stopped your goals? Make sure you get everything into swing and start kicking ass this year. The next thing I want to talk about is dedication and hard work. So I had kind of an interesting week with a client, a brand new client who you just click with some people. We really hit it off. So brand new client, she switched from her old coach over to me for powerlifting last week, and she was prepping for a meet that was today. And she dropped a weight class since October. Her old coach basically stopped responding to her, and he was just being a douchebag. And he was some YouTube famous lifter who was not good for coaching. Might be strong, that doesn't mean you can coach. Some people are athletes, some are coaches. I'm definitely a coach versus an athlete. So we need to cut a little bit of weight for her to make weight. She worked her ass off, dieting since October, and she did drop her weight class. She got there last minute because of her willpower and her hard work. Today she lifted, and she's strong as hell. And she didn't have the best day on the platform today. After the meet, we had a pretty emotional phone call. I was almost as upset as she was when I got off the phone with her. I actually take a minute, and that doesn't happen to me. It didn't hit me well. It was about 5 minutes later, this woman gives me a text with her next 2 meet dates. She fell off and got right back up. She was still upset, but it didn't get to her. She knows her goals, and she's right back at it. Monday, she's going to be right back at the gym, lifting, moving forward. I haven't seen anybody with this much energy and love for all things weightlifting, except for Beck Sheehan or Beck Gormley, whoever you know her as. Rebecca, we all kind of know her if you're in this group a lot. I know this woman, the new client, the powerlifter, is watching, and we talked about this, but I want to say it publicly so you can hold me accountable to this, is you're going to be the Rebecca Gormley of powerlifting. I saw it in Beck. And I mean, we all know how great she did. She took second overall in her first competition. Amazing. I saw it in her. I saw it in you. So just keep going. And everybody, just remember, everyone gets kicked on their way to the top. In the beginning, life's going to kick you down every chance it can. And once you're at the top, everyone's just there trying to kick out the ladder. So just keep kicking ass. And that's what you're going to do. You had a rough day, you have a couple beers, and we're going to be back at it, because I know that's how you are. So let's get to questions. All right. If you guys have questions, write your questions down. I want a stack of them right now. And let's get to it. So the backlog. Let me figure out how to watch this on my phone and my computer real quick. Let's see. Brittany Sin says, Hey, Brittany. Carrie, I'm thinking about bulking. How exactly do you know if you're putting on muscle? And are you just assuming that based on lifting workouts? Yeah. You won't really know if you're putting on muscle. I mean, you're putting on slow amounts of muscle every day. It's like adding a layer of paint to a wall. You're not going to be able to notice until it's done. And then you can, there's that many layers there now. The goal is slow growth. Depending on your lifting age, your gender, your size, your starting point, we're going to go real general. You want to gain roughly 1% of your body weight per month for a natural athlete. And the goal is to do that slow. The slower, the better. We will gain less fat, and that's what we want. Now, there is the argument, well, you're going to gain less muscle too, and you will, but that just means you have to spend less time dieting, and the more time you spend dieting, the more muscle you will lose. So there is a balance in there. It's a bell curve. There's diminishing returns after a while, and that's where the general consensus is nice and slow, roughly 1% of your body weight per month. And yeah, you're assuming that's based on lifting workouts. Resistance training, high intensity, high weight, progressively overloading, and lifting more weights over time. We'd be happy to help you out with setting out a program and guiding you through it. Coaching, 3 months, you will understand everything. Alex, fun time. Keith, hi, Keith. And Keith has a question. Perfect. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Guys, if you have questions, put them in there so we can get a stack going. Keith says, what should I do if the weather has sabotaged my workout week? Now, Keith is one of my clients, and we actually just talked about this. I appreciate the question to keep things going. This is part of actually the conference that Brad Dieter and I are doing, and that's the theme of it: flexible fitness and nutrition, flexible dieting. That's what we call it, right? So your routine needs to fit your goals, it needs to fit your enjoyment. But if you're one of those people with a chaotic life, and you might need to be flexible with it. Now, if you're a power lifter, yeah, you're going down for specific numbers. It's a little bit harder when you're trying to peak for a meet or something. But if you're a bodybuilder, just a recreational lifter, you have a lot more flexibility in that. So Keith had his gym closed, I think, twice this week, and his lifts got modified. He went once, the daycare center wasn't open, so his wife lifted. He took the kids. It was kind of a hectic mess. He's modifying. Tomorrow's supposed to be his off day. He's going to lift. And he's not just lifting one muscle group. He's combining them. He's modified his work throughout the week. Remember, you're not going to lose your muscles over one week. It doesn't work like that. Again, if you're peaking for a powerlifting meet, you do have to hit specific targets, but modify, adapt. If I'm supposed to squat, I'm out traveling, and I go to a gym that doesn't have an adequate squat rack or something that I feel comfortable with, I'll use a leg press. I'm not a power lifter. I can do that. My goal is muscle growth, hypertrophy, and that can be transferred over. So being able to adapt to that is really big. Just remember, just because your program, and again, unless you have a specific program for a specific purpose, doesn't mean you have to stick to that exactly. You can modify. Just because it's supposed to be barbell curls doesn't mean I can't do cable curls to get the same muscle growth. Derek said, Jay. Hi, Derek. Molly, I'm the best coach. I wouldn't go that far. Someone say beers. Yeah, Derek, we will. That's beers. I'm always there. Well, I'll have whiskey. You have beers. But I just started dieting yesterday, so I will not be having any alcohols for 8 weeks, maybe 2 exceptions. But yeah, that's it. So when I'm done, we will have all the beer. When you're done with your competition, Derek. Christine, are there any benefits to carb cycling? I have a friend who does it. Has a high carb day. So if it's 1 day a week, it's not carb cycling. You're having a refeed day, which is just basically a psychological advantage, break from the diet weekly. It works really well. Some people like them, some don't. I love them. Others don't need them, and that's fine. Now, if you're carb cycling daily, where you have like 3 high days and 4 low days or something like that, if you're just weightlifting, it's not needed at all. It's silly. It's just overwork. Now, if you're a runner or an endurance athlete, it's a way different story. Big endurance athletes need a whole lot of training. We have a couple endurance athletes. One guy who just came on who is a triathlete, and his nutrition program is intense. Brad Morgan, one of our coaches who does, Brad and Kelly are the endurance athletes of the group, and Brad likes working with them, and this training program is intense. It is a lot of work, and there's a lot of carb cycling, a lot of fat. Some guys will even go into fat cycling. But for the average person, no, there's no benefit to carb cycling whatsoever. Guys, if you have questions, write them down. Keep them coming, all right? Shannon Hale, when does the Macros Inc. app come out? Oh, God, why does everybody keep asking me? I should never have advertised this when we started it. I didn't realize how hard app development was. I'm not going to lie, I have fallen behind with it. It's taken a back seat to the conference, to the growth of this group. We were projecting to be at 10,000 members by the end of right now, and we're pushing 22,000. So we've had a little bit more explosive growth. We had to bring on extra coaches, extra moderators in the group. So my priority is making sure that everybody in here is taken care of, and we moderate the group and take care of people. Oh, Rebecca Gormley's in here. I've talked about you earlier. Go back and watch the replay back from the very beginning. You're in the first 5 minutes. The app will hopefully, my goal now, and this is completely, it's on the back burner. I'm not doing anything with it right now. I don't have time to hold a developer's hand. Hopefully it will be out by the conference. That's kind of my goal, is to launch at the conference, but who the hell knows at this point. It will be out eventually, I promise. It's just a lot of work. Shannon again, how can you adjust and continue building strength and muscle when the weights get too heavy for your hands to keep a grip? You can go down to a lower weight, and you can add reps or add sets. That's what you can do. You could back off, and then we could work on grip strength. There's tons of different things. You could try a different movement and then come back and go back to that movement later. Depending on the movement, maybe lifting straps will help. I use lifting straps because I'm not a power lifter. I don't need to compete. So why wouldn't I? It makes perfect sense. I can deadlift way more than my grip strength is, because I don't plan on ever lifting anything over 500 pounds off the ground without a lifting strap on. So I use them all the time. Bunch of different ways. Shannon, you're one of my clients. You can absolutely just shoot me a message. We can have a complete private conversation and customize it to you. Alex, when do the Macros Inc. branded man thongs come out? Yours is in the mail, actually. We'll be releasing yours at the conference, so we'll have a ceremony for you. Gabe, if I want to learn about the basics of powerlifting, what would be some good sources of information? Oh, that's a good one. So first, you need to learn the big three. That's the basics. The basics of a meet and stuff like that, that's just going to come from going to meets. That's the best experience. You could read on them. USA Powerlifting would be the ultimate resource on all that. Going to meets would be how it runs, because that's a big part of it if you're going to compete. Otherwise, just the big 3 lifts. My favorite 3 videos on powerlifting of all time, and full disclosure, this is the guy that taught me how to lift. Layden Norden has videos on the bench, deadlift, and squat on bodybuilding.com. In my opinion, they are 3 of the best videos ever made. Otherwise, anything by Matt Gary, who's the USA Powerlifting head judge for USA Powerlifting. His wife, Susie, is, I believe, currently still the strongest woman pound for pound in the world. They are all amazing resources. I'd highly recommend following anything they've put out or anything Norton's put out on bodybuilding.com about the big 3 lifts. And Gabe, you're one of my clients. If you have specific questions that those don't answer, just let me know, and I can pull up every resource that I have on it. Jason, coming off an injury or illness and you haven't been able to eat many calories and you've lost weight, is it best to start at maintenance calories when you get back to lifting, or is it best to start at maintenance calories when you get back to eating and working out, even if your goals are to lose body fat long term? So since you have lost weight, and I've talked to Jason off in private messages, things like that, so I know a little bit of his backstory, but since you have been out and you're coming back, your intensity is not going to be there right away. You're not going to be able to be as active. You're going to need to, and your weight's down. When your weight's down, your maintenance already changed. You have less muscle, which is minimal calories anyways, but you're not going to be as active. Your weight's down. And let's face it, anytime you're coming off an injury, you're lethargic as hell. You're not going to want to move a whole bunch. You're going to get tired easily, so your NEAT's going to be way down. Even though you don't want it to be, it's going to be. So your maintenance is going to change. We can go into projected maintenance and see what happens, and then adjust from there. Knowing you and knowing what your physique was like before your injury, I don't know what you look like now, but you haven't, 2-3 months, that's nothing. Think of athletes. These guys come back full blast in a year. After being out for a year, they come back full blast. They have a horrible injury, they're back 6 weeks later. So you're right in a good spot. I would say try for a recomp if you can. You can probably recomp a little bit, maybe diet down just to lose some body fat. Real quick, a question came from the top, said, what is NEAT? NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You see how I'm swiveling in my chair? That's my NEAT. I talk in my hands? That's my NEAT. It's all movement that is not exercise related. Some people will debate walking. Oh, I'm going for a walk around the block. No, that's exercise. Yeah. Is it meant to be my exercise, or is it just meant to go walk around the block? But anything that's not planned, anything that's not jogging on a treadmill. So just your daily movements. Tapping. I'm a big fidgeter. Things like that. Molly, can you talk about why we need to meet protein goals when cutting, please? Yeah, so when we diet, we are going to lose. If you have questions, guys, type them up so I can get a stack going. It makes it a lot easier. Hey, KR. Don't care for a really long time. Introduce me and my wife. So we want protein because when we're dieting, we're going to lose fat, but we're also going to lose muscle. Somebody who's very new to lifting, maybe you can build a little bit of muscle, but if you're in a really long diet, especially like a bodybuilder or something, you're not going to be building much muscle. Now, without protein, you're going to lose muscle. So our goal is to have protein to build muscle and most likely just maintain the muscle mass that we have, because your body needs to build more muscle at all times. You have constant turnover. So when we give more protein, we'll be using that versus the old protein. That's the easiest explanation of it. Good question, Molly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Andrew, best source for accurate macros foods to create meal plans. So it depends on the food. We'll just go with generic foods. The USDA database, if somebody could put a link in the comments to the USDA food database, that is the hands down the best database you're going to find for generic foods. Now, if you're looking for a pizza, a prepackaged thing, just scan the barcode. You could nitpick it. Yeah, there's a margin of error in there, but you're never going to get anything more accurate than what the manufacturer has put in there. But the USDA food database is the best. And then if you're using MyFitnessPal, I think My Macros Plus does it too, but I'm not sure. MyFitnessPal, once you're putting things in there often, it will put it as your favorite, so you don't have to keep searching it, things like that. You can search USDA and then the number in MyFitnessPal, the number from the USDA database in MyFitnessPal, it should pop up, or you can enter it manually. That's the best source I would go for. Rebecca said she will watch the beginning when I talked about her. Thank you. Sean, why do so many people eat donuts, cookies, ice cream rather than clean calories to meet needs? Am I missing something? Yes. So Sean, this is a very common question. This is the whole concept behind this, because let me tell you what, I ate nothing but tilapia, fish, asparagus, sweet potato, and oatmeal for almost 2 years. And that was absolutely awful. Okay, guys, thank you all for the USDA links. I appreciate it. And it was awful. It wasn't flexible. Now, food quality has no impact on my body weight. Fat loss is not determined by the quality of my food. It's determined by the quantity of my food. That's the calories in, calories out. So I need to eat less calories, energy, than I'm going to use in a day, and I will lose weight. Now, it has been done numerous times. The most famous is Mark Hobbs, professor at University of Kansas City, Kansas? Sorry, I don't remember the exact study. It's been a while since I've read it. Who lost a significant amount of weight eating Twinkies. I believe he also had like a pasta, 1 cup of pasta at night to have dinner with his family. Lost a good amount of weight. All of his blood levels normalized. And I think he was pre-diabetic, and he wasn't afterwards. I think. I'm not positive on that. But everything normalized, and he just ate Twinkies. It's not quantity. Now, it's not quality, it's quantity. Now, that being said, you could lose weight by just eating 800 calories of Pop-Tarts a day. You could get fat by eating 5,000 calories of broccoli a day. You eat that much, you'll get fat. You'll probably blow up from the broccoli, but theoretically, you will get fat. Now, your diet shouldn't consist of one or the other. Extremes are bad. We want 70 to 80% whole, nutritious, minimally processed, nutrient-dense food, vegetables, fruits, things like that. Sorry, my cat's meowing. So, clean eating, it's not... Oh, there we go. Alex Dedman just posted the thing. Mark Halb, I think I was right. Perfect. And Keith posted a link in there that says clean eating, why it's a myth from Human Performance. That's a good article. So it's the quality. I'm going to get fat if I eat a bunch of food. Just that balance is what we want. I will put my money every single day on somebody who is at a healthy body weight, eating Twinkies and candy every day versus somebody who is 60 pounds overweight eating clean, because I've gotten fat eating clean. I think a lot of people in this group have. You have to count calories. Now, you can eat clean foods only and count calories. A lot of people do that. A lot of people don't want junk food. That's your decision. A lot of people are vegan. They're paleo, whatever. Counting calories is what matters. That's what flexible dieting is. You can eat however the hell you want. Just count your calories to get your goals. And then we make it a little bit more specific with macros: protein, muscle, carbs, performance, fat, overall health, and hormones for the most part. That's why we do that. So good question and a common one. Cindy, I'm currently lifting every day without any days off. Is it really necessary to take 1 or 2 days off? If you're natural, absolutely. You need to take rest. Your body cannot recover from working out every day or doing 2 days, 5 days a week. You need rest. Take 2 days off every week if you're natural. There's no reason to. Unless maybe you're prepping for a meet for some crazy reason. But you're in recovery. And I'm not going to do more. Yes, you will. Because you're going to be recovered, you're going to lift more weight per session. Now, you can add in more volume per session, but you need those days off. Your body needs to recover. Try it for 2 months. Document your lifts. Look at what you're lifting now, total volume per muscle group, or weight lifted, how much you're benching, how much you're squatting, whatever, and then look at it in 2 months when you're doing 5 days a week. It'll go up, I promise. Christine, what is neat? I answered that. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, movements. Jason, glad that helped. Hey, KR. And a bunch of people posted the link. If you have questions, guys, keep them coming. A bunch of people posted stuff. I hope is this cat coming over on everybody's stuff? Everybody's quick. Rachel Heck. I lift in the lower rep range 6 times a week and decided to switch 2 of those days to lifting lighter in the higher rep range to give my body a break. But I've realized it's actually increasing my volume on those days. Will this negatively affect my progress? Define progress, Rachel. You need to be more specific. But I'm going to give you a general thing. If you see it, write it up here, or you can always shoot me a message. You're in the group all the time. Post it, whatever. Assuming your goal is just overall strength, you're not peaking for a powerlifting meet or bodybuilding. So just overall general health, we all want to look good naked. You want to be strong. You want to be fit. That's what we're going for. No specific, target goal. You'll gain more muscle if it's increasing your volume. You'll get bigger. That's for sure. Oh, I see. Rachel just said strength, please. So you need more of a periodized program. I'd probably take it down to 5 days a week as a natural athlete. If you're not natural, then stay at 6. Nobody cares if you're natural or not, but natural, got to be 5. Not natural, you could go 6 or just increase your volume per day, but you need those rest days. I would go to lighter lifting days. Yeah, it increased you're going to get bigger. That's the typical reason that people go lighter, so they can get more volume in without affecting their joints, and they can get bigger. Bigger muscles lift bigger weights. When you do that in conjunction, now strength is a specifically learned skill, but we're combining everything. That's a periodization program, and that's what you want. You don't want to stick in one rep range. You want a wide variety of rep ranges. Sorry, my cat is the most vocal thing in the world. So that's what we switch up. I'd go 5 days a week, and I'd undulate that to a power day or a hypertrophy day, a power day, and a strength day, and keep it like that. And then a couple accessory days, or and maybe one accessory day. The cat decided to say hi. Molly, if you were to, thanks for that question, Rachel. I really like that one. Hope I answered it. No, it's a boy cat, Shannon. He's a jackass. He's old and mean. Molly said, if you were to touch on what the weight on the scale represents and why weighing every day is important, not obsessive. Also, comparing weekly weighs versus dates. So, the cat's getting more responses than anything I've ever said in this damn group right now. So, weighing in daily, there is a huge, I'm just going to start banning people who say don't weigh yourself daily because it's absolutely silly, unless you have some huge mental hang-up. But if you have that big of a hang-up with the scale that you're not able to weigh yourself daily, you need to, there's a deep issue that you need professional in-person help with or working with a coach, and you shouldn't be posting in a group because you're just going to get destroyed. And people do have that, and that's absolutely fine. That's what we're here for. But for the average person, that's what we talk. We're talking averages. The average person trying to lose weight should weigh themselves daily. I'll give you an example. I started dieting yesterday. I cut my carbs by 66%. I lost 8 pounds overnight. Did I lose 8 pounds of fat? No. I lost 8 pounds of water weight overnight. I hold a lot of water, and I cut my carbs. Carbs make you retain water. My body weight dropped. I can guarantee you tomorrow, when I wake up, it's only going to be down like an eighth of a pound tomorrow. If that, it might be up. Now, things like sodium. If you have salt in the beginning of your diet, you will before you go to you have soy sauce. Your weight's going to skyrocket. You have a seasoning on your meat, your weight's going to skyrocket. Anything with sodium. Stressful. Females, your cycle is going to mess up your water weight retention. Stress, lack of sleep. Tons of things go into that, and that's going to average out over a week. So weight can jump up and down 8 pounds in a day. It happens. It just happened to me last night. That doesn't mean I lost 8 pounds. Now tomorrow I'm going to look back and I'm going to level out a little bit. I'll probably come up a little and then down. So you want a weekly average. That's the best we can do. Take a weekly average. Every day, average it out. And then you're going to compare back, and you're going to look back in weeks past. Now, it varies per people. With guys, I can look back 1 week to 1 week. I can make a pretty good determination on, as long as your calories are consistent, on if we're making progress or need to make an adjustment. Now, women, your cycle causes water weight fluctuations. So we need to look back in 4-week increments for sure. Sometimes I do that for guys too, just because you can see different guys have different weight fluctuations. But you need to look back in 4 weeks to adjust calories. So if you're trying to lose a pound a week, I'm going to look back 4 weeks later and see if you're 4 pounds different. If you're 1 pound different, I'm going to drop calories. If you're 8 pounds different, we can either add in more food or take the extra progress. But looking back 1 week to 1 week in a female just isn't going to do it. A bunch of people posted up links to a couple of the Twinkie diets, things like that. Gabe says, why do you think people do Weight Watchers for points instead of just counting calories? Because it's multiple reasons. One, it's safe, it's proven. Weight Watchers is probably one of my favorite commercial diets. It's expensive as hell, and it doesn't, in my experience, it doesn't teach you how to diet for life, because once you're off points, you're off points. But I think in the early days before phones, before we had a computer in our pocket, it worked well. And a lot of people have success with that. I have a couple clients who have had amazing success with Weight Watchers, didn't want to leave it because they didn't know what to do. But people go with it, marketing, things like that. Once they understand calories and they understand it's the exact same thing as Weight Watchers, just more sustainable for your life, they typically will stick with macros. And I know that's your experience too, Gabe, and it's a common story. Yeah, Weight Watchers has a chicken now that's 0 points. So the point, let me real quick, the point behind the 0 calorie chicken, the 0 calorie fruits and vegetables, is that they're trying to build healthy eating habits. They want you to eat those. It's it's possible, but it's very difficult to gain a bunch of weight off just vegetables. Now, Weight Watchers put you in such a big deficit that you can eat a bunch of vegetables, and most people are going to be full before they even get over where they should be by eating all nothing but vegetables. They're trying to build healthy eating habits. It is a very well-designed program. Once you understand how it works, though, it seems silly, and I understand where everybody's coming from. But that is why they do it. They're trying to build healthy eating habits. Might not be the best way. Maybe it is. Who am I to say? Sean, awesome. Thanks for the response. I'm hitting my calories and tracking them, but eating ice cream to finish them off. That's fine. That's what all of us do. I can't tell you how. We should start another post that say how many of us eat ice cream to finish off our macros at the end of the day. I had a pint of ice cream last night, and now that I'm dieting, I probably won't. But when I'm not dieting, I will have I'll have like 78 grams of M&Ms to finish off my night because that's what I like to do. So no, Sean, it sounds like you're doing it right. It sounds like you have a good grasp of it. Have a treat. You want it? Have it. Sounds like you're doing good already. So your question was valid. It was good. I appreciate it. And your response made me smile. So, Helen Perez, is there a recommended minimum amount of sleep required for optimal training? Ooh, sleep questions are tricky. So sleep changes. I've had sleep problems my whole life. I do not sleep well. Unfortunately, I like sleep. I just don't do it very well. For an adult, we're looking at 6 to 8 hours is where you want. Now, so there are people who do need more sleep. Hey, Mr. Miller. There are people who do need more sleep. It happens. I have spoken to several. My other company that I own, I teach physicians all day. That's all I do. I've talked to several sleep physicians who specialize in sleep. A couple sleep clinics. I've talked to guys who run them. I've talked to them. It will vary. Some people are going to need 10 hours of sleep their entire life. Some people run fine on 4. It's very individualized. So average is, that 6 to 8 hours. It will affect training. If you do not get your optimal training, it will cause issues. Now, I do have an article on our NutriWiki site on sleep, I think. If not, Helen, tag me. I wrote a big blog post on all of the things I've done and looked up and learned on sleep. I have it saved. I can post it in the group if it's not on NutriWiki. I can't remember if I wrote an article. So to find out your average sleep that you need, what you should do is you need to take a 2-day average on days when you have nothing planned, when you can sleep without an alarm. Go to sleep when you're tired, and then don't set an alarm and just wake up naturally. And you need to do that 2 days in a row to even out. And you take the average of those, and that's the average amount of hours you should get. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. I had 3 different physicians who were not in the same room, didn't know different days, tell me the exact same thing, that that's the optimal way. So they also all said that every single sleep tracking is absolutely garbage. So there's that too, because I was all about buying one, and they said, nope, all of them are absolute crap. If they were, that's what we'd use at sleep clinics. So take that. Strength progress, answer that. Leanne, with NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, twitching, moving, fidgeting. I stand most of the day, but steps are low sometimes. Am I burning more calories than if I was sitting and doing nothing? I know not every part of our lives can be micromanaged to numbers. Just curious. So there is a health benefit to a standing desk. Brad Morgan has one. Rebecca Gormley has one. I have a sitting desk, but I just stand. I put my laptop screen. I rarely sit. This drives me nuts sitting here like this. The calories burned are minimal. I can't remember the exact data. I'd have to pull it up. If you made a post in the group or message me, Leanne, I could find it for you and get it to you. Otherwise, I will forget. But it's a small calorie burn. It's nothing. You're going to be like, oh my God, look at that. The benefit, where the real thing comes in, is when you're fidgeting, you're pacing back and forth. That's where the real NEAT comes in. Pacing is where it is. Standing, not so much. But even if you're sitting, if you get up and take a lap every 20 minutes around the office, that adds up. That's one of my favorite things to do with people is, all right, how often can you get up? Every 20 minutes I can get up and go get a cup of water. All right, can you move your desk to the furthest place in the office? Yeah. All right, now we're at, we just added 2,000 steps in your day just by walking to go get a glass of water every 20 minutes. So as an employer, I absolutely hate that. As a fitness professional, I think it's the best thing you can do. People talking about my cat that was up on the screen. Let's see, Shannon. Weight Watchers said that has no point. 0 Point Chicken, it is impossible, but again, they're trying to build healthy habits. Keith, is there any way is there any exercise I cannot live without? Say I hate squats. Is there something that is equal or close enough? Great question. Now, Keith is a bodybuilder, so you can live without any exercise. There's no specific exercise that's required for bodybuilding. If somebody tells you there is, they're full of shit, and stop listening to them immediately. Powerlifters have required lifts. They can't live without those. A powerlifter cannot compete without squat, bench, and deadlift. A Olympic lifter can't live without clean and jerk and snatch. Outside of those, you can do whatever. We train muscle groups. We don't train lifts. So are there some that are better than others? Yeah, a lot better. Deadlifting is an amazing exercise. Squatting is amazing. Bench press is amazing. That's why they're the big three. But are they required? No. You can do whatever there's no required. Equal and close enough. If I'm traveling and I hurt my back. I hurt my shoulder. I can't put a barbell on my back to squat right now. So I could do leg press, or I could do dumbbell squats, or I could do a hack squat on a machine. Or just leg extensions and curls, depending on what you want. Now you might have to compensate and add some things in. The one that's really hard to find a filler for is the deadlift. You could do hip thrusts and maybe glute ham raises, or hip thrusts and leg extensions, or maybe and that's it. Or maybe a hack squat with a barbell. But it is difficult to find something to give you that training of a deadlift. So that's probably the one that I would. If I had to pick one, it'd be that, but no exercises required. Good question. I like that question a lot. I get in that argument with people all the time. Oh, you're a bodybuilder. You got to do this. You got to hit the pec deck. No, you don't. Sheila, sitting here eating my 60-gram chocolate ice cream. Exactly. It's all about balance and flexibility. We had it right earlier. Oh, I eat clean, but I'm having ice cream now. Perfect. You found the balance. You have learned how to do flexible diet successfully. You eat how you want, but you're not afraid of foods. You're afraid of quantities of foods. Insomnia checking in, newborn, no time for sleep. That's why I don't have kids. I would never be able to sleep, and I would be a very unpleasant person. Nothing on News Rookie for sleep yet. Thanks, Alex, for checking. I will, as long as I remember, I'll get that link up. If somebody in the moderator group wants to post that, I will. In our moderator chat wants to post to put the sleep thing up, I will. Toddlers, 2 of them. No, people that sleeping kids, man. I got an error on my page. There we go. There, my alarm on my days off. Standing stay-at-home mom. Yeah, that's. Chasing after kids. That's a lot of neat. Keith, have your doctor prescribe your diuretic, and then you'll get your steps in, right? Yeah, just keep going to pee every 4 minutes. Brittany Sin, should I switch to my volume of working out? Should I switch to my volume of working out a week instead of daily log what I lift? No. It depends, really. It depends on your goals. I track volume per muscle group. If you're a powerlifter, you have to track volume per lift, and then you can track per muscle group. You could track volume per exercise if you want. You should just track, because the goal of lifting is to progressively lift more weight every single damn time. So if you are lifting, just keep track of lifting more weight. That's what I would do. A lot of apps out there now will tell you, total volume lifted this session. So that way, if my Thursday lift, I can go back to the next Thursday and say, did I lift more volume? All right, I got stronger this week. Perfect. Did I lift less volume? Shit. Let's make sure that I can get more in a week. Because remember, it's not going to be a straight line. It'll be progressively up. All right. Romanian deadlift. Alex, yeah, good one. The problem, and I agree with it being a Romanian deadlift being a comparable exercise for deadlift. The problem is, I had this happen to me. I went to deadlift, and my lifting strap, I used Versa grips, and I was sweating because I was testing one rep maxes, and I went to pull, and the Versa grip, I don't know if it was the Velcro that came undone or my hand, I was sweating so much that I lost my grip with it. And I was lifting heavy, and the bar came out when I was up. I didn't feel it slipping, and I hurt my back pretty bad. And it was like 2 weeks I couldn't deadlift, and I need to keep training. So I would not have been able to do a Romanian. I couldn't bend that way. So I was able to do hip thrusts with my belt on. It was the only way my back wouldn't hurt. And I finally got through it. But it was about 6 weeks where I couldn't do it, and I would have tried Romanian. But when I worked back in, I did start going with Romanian dumbbell deadlifts, and they did help. Derek, what are the top three things brand new macro trackers should focus on for success? Oh, I have an infographic for that. It's in our pinned post now. It's my intro to dieting. So the first week you flexible diet, there's so much to get used to with it. If you're brand new to this, you're terrified of it. First, if you're terrified, get a Macros Inc. coach, and we'll just guide you through the process and show you how to do this. But what I would do first for week one, first you need to download MyFitnessPal or MyMacros Plus. So, assuming we have an app, we know our macros. Focus on hitting for week one. All I want you to do is hit total. Just log your food. Don't track your calories. Just log your food. Weigh all your food. That's it. Weigh your food. Plan out your meals, and don't care about calories. Week one. That's it. Week two, I want you to focus on hitting total calories only. That's it. Total calories only. Week two, total calories. Week three, I want you to focus on total calories and protein. That's it. Total calories, protein. Week four, all three macros. And then you'll have everything. That's it. It's a 4-week break-in process, and you will have it mastered. I've used that with, I can't even tell you how many people now, and it works good. Not everybody needs that process. Some people are, a lot of people are just, okay, yeah, I got it. And we just have to work on consistency and a little bit habit building. Some people just, especially people who are coming from a clean eating or a meal plan based thing, have a really hard time adjusting, and those are the people that I typically use it with. No kids, no sleep. Cool, thanks. What apps are good for tracking volume? I do not know. The app I have, they actually don't make anymore. I have it on in my iPhone, and it just keeps working with the current operating system. There's a bunch of them, though. Jamie, if you search in the group, you will find some apps that talk about, some posts that talk about what apps people use. I think Kelly uses the one that I really like, and I can't remember the name of it. Maybe message Kelly Carpenter and ask her what she uses, or make a post and tag her in it. Keith, how important is it to space out my protein as your average bodybuilder? And I'm going to assume Keith means competitive bodybuilder. If Helen said Diet Pop, no Monster, I already had my Monster. I have about 300 more emails that I have to reply to. After this, I need a break from replying, so I had Monster and did this. Keith, if we're talking about average recreational bodybuilders, like I just want to get big, I'm not going to compete. Not really. Have 30-ish grams of protein every couple hours, but as long as you're hitting your total daily protein, we're okay. That's really all that matters. Now, a competitive bodybuilder, we want that edge, and protein timing is going to give you a small advantage. It's not worth it for the average person, the time it's going to take you. But for a competitive bodybuilder, I would definitely be trying to have 0.3 to 0.4 grams per kilogram of protein every 3 to 4 hours, and timed with around your workout. For a competitive bodybuilder, average people, who cares? You're fine. You don't need that. But when we're trying to get to stage lean, we're talking we need every ounce. I want every gram of muscle I can get off this guy. So I would definitely try to have that protein an hour before your workout, and then an hour after. I personally am still somebody who does have my protein shake after I work out. It's not gonna hurt me. I don't stress if I don't get it because it's not gonna cause me to lose my muscles. But is it gonna hurt me to have a protein shake post workout? No. Is it gonna benefit me? Maybe, probably not. But it's definitely not gonna hurt me, and I don't have to worry about it. And I like protein, so I like. Either they have a shake, or sometimes I'll just have a meal because I'm hungry. So it matters only for like high level bodybuilders and things like that. I would go powerlifters too. I'd say it matters for powerlifter as well. But average people, no. Scott, what do you do when you've hit your peak weight or sets and aren't progressing? Good question. First off, you need to take a deload week. That's the first thing. So there's a couple ways you can do it. The most common way, and probably not the best way, is to just take a week off lifting. I need a break, bro. You could. A lot of people do it. It's common. It's not going to murder your progress, but I like to lift. So if you don't want to take that week, which is why a lot of people never take a break, cut your number of sets in half. Same weight, same intensity. Cut your number of sets in half. And then the next week, start over in a different rep range. That's what's going to help you. Change up your rep range every 8 weeks if you're an advanced lifter, and then you can progress. If you could also drop down. I could keep I can't add in weight. I'm going to add in more reps. I can't add in If I can't add in weight, I'm going to add in more sets. Do another set. Drop your weight you're lifting. Let's say I'm doing dumbbell curls for 30, and I'm doing 4 sets of 12. And I can't get 35s. So I can drop down to 25s, and maybe I'll do 5 sets of 12. And then try it again. After 2 weeks, try it again. There's so many things to do. If you are having a lot of problems with progressing, and it happens to advanced level lifters all the time, coaching. And I'm not saying that just to sell out coaching. That is, our goal is to teach you how to progress. My goal, I don't want somebody for a client more than 3 months, because if you are staying with me for more than 3 months because you can't manage on your own, I failed. I have a lot of clients who've been with me for over a year, and that's because they love coaching. They like the accountability. I've been working with the same coach now for almost 3 years, because I absolutely love working with him. He gets me. He knows what I want. I don't have to worry about my own programming. But if you're like, I'm still with him for 6 months and I have no idea how to be on my own, we have some issues. You should understand why we're changing things. So if that's, you know how to program, you just want to see how to maybe fine tune it, look into coaching. Helen on her Pop No Monster. Strong app is what people are saying they use to track their workouts. I am going to log off in a minute, guys. We've been going for a while. If you have a question, type it out. Otherwise, I'm going to end this real quick. Molly, how do you feel about changing up workouts all the time versus following a set program for a few months? I feel like people are so quick to see something new, but seeing progression seems more important to me. Yeah, you need to progress. You need time. These guys, muscle confusion, bro. Screw you. You need neurological adaptation to these lifts. It takes time. You can't tell if I'm squatting, lifting in a 3 to 5 rep range, and then the next week I'm in the 6 to 8 rep range, and then the next week I'm in the 1 to 2. I'm never going to be able to compare my lifts. You can do that week to week, but every Monday or some way in the 7-day, 10-day pattern, you have to hit that again to compare, to progress. It takes time to add into these things. All right. So 6 to 8, sometimes 12 weeks, depending on your lifting age and how heavy you're lifting. Lifting higher volume, you need to take a break earlier. Lighter volume, you don't. If you're lifting real heavy, you're testing out your 1 rep maxes. You'll probably get in a 4-week training block, and then you'll need to take a deload week, and then you can get a new rep range. Good question, Molly. Progressive overload and things like that is such a giant topic. And Eric Helms wrote an entire book on the damn thing. So, Keith, can you touch on the effects of, oh my God, on the phases for weight loss for women? I can. It's going to take forever. Keith, if you make a post about it, we'll talk about it. It's just going to take forever. And I have emails to reply and Pepsis to drink. But that's a good question. It's going to take time. We're not going to get into it. I got to look up a couple things too. I'm not going to lie. I don't know it off the top of my head. And I want to get facts. So if you make a post about it, Keith, we'll hit it. We'll hit it. It is a good question though. All right, guys. Thank you all. Again, check out the conference info. It is going to be amazing. We have put in a lot of work. I actually have people today who are reaching out to me to ask if they could be a presenter there. That's pretty intense for me, for people wanting to come speak at my conference. So I would definitely say it's going to sell out because the presenters haven't been announced yet, and we're selling tickets. The presenters haven't started saying, "Hey, I'm presenting here." You're going to want to be there. And Brad Dieter and Dylan Miller are going to be there, 2 of the most handsome men you've ever seen. So you could get their autographs. Maybe they'll take shirtless pictures with people. Who knows? All right, guys, I am out. And I don't either of them are watching this, so that's awesome because they'll never know I just said that. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Take care.